Hello, Claudia. Nice to see you here in
Hi, hi,
Zoom.
Christine. Nice to see you too.
It's
It's
our,
so great to
it's yours.
it's so great to be here with you at the Weinkönner.
Yeah. The Weinkönner, my special room for tastings. Um, and that's why we meet, talking about wine. And by the way, improving our English or my English. And I think wine is so international that's worth talking in English and talking about it in English. And that's why we start our sessions and try to find more people enjoying what we are talking about.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Um, I I don't know about you, but I have definitely tried wine from all parts of the world. So, and they're all so different, I find as well. So,
Yeah, you're completely right. We have
s-
one, yeah,
I that brings me on a thought because each wine has a different personality, and each person speaking English in a different language, like their different language, that's also everyone brings their own personality to their English or to the other language that they're speaking.
yeah. And that's what the same in wine, because every winemaker brings his own personality in his style of wine. It's so fascinating. I have a little story. I discovered that years ago when I had a wine tasting, only Riesling. And there were three winemakers sharing the same mountain, the same vineyard. And we tried the wine, and then we looked at the winemakers, and we could identify who made which wine. The one was voluminous, and the wine was bright and large and intense. And there was a lady, very straightforward, very elegant, and her wine was the same, an elegant version of the same vineyard, which is so interesting. And the third one was sporting type, and his wine was really straight and of a bit mineral, full of minerals. And so it was fascinating. Same vineyard,
Yeah, yeah,
same grape, three different types of wine for three different types of people.
yeah, amazing, amazing
Yeah,
how that energy comes through into the wine.
yeah.
And so, just a note, um, in English, we pronounce it's spelled vineyard, but we pronounce it vineyard.
Oh, very
Vineyard.
good. Vineyard.
Yeah.
That's why I always was thinking about why they say mother's vineyard, not vineyard. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So if you split the word vine plus yard, then of course it's vine. Yeah, the grapes grow on a vine. But if you put them together, it's vineyard. Just
good to know. Thank you.
lose it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're welcome.
yeah. And
So
in my tasting store, Weinkönner in Könneritstraße here in Leipzig, uh, I I want to show how the differences in wine are, and to help people to discover their own taste and stand to their own taste. Because we always think that someone is a professional and he tells what is good or not. But everybody has a right for his own taste. And he can say, or she can say, I like it or I don't like it. And that's important to be proud of your own taste and say, yeah, that's what I like. and not waiting for somebody else to tell you, you have to like it. I tell you. And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But I think also for me, I mean, there are only very few wines that I like, that I really like. But then there's the other level of I can appreciate a good wine,
yeah,
even if I don't like it. So
yeah,
I enjoy tasting different wines and noticing the different tastes. Um, but then, of course, I like drinking the wine that I like.
yeah. What's the kind of taste you prefer?
I definitely tend to like a more sweeter wine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and even even semi-sweet is sometimes a good wine. And then I also sometimes like a well-rounded Italian wine. Uh,
Especially in red.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Um, from the wines that I've tasted, between France and like French wines and Italian wines, I prefer the Italian. And don't tell anybody, but I really like Australian wines, and sometimes I prefer the Australian wine to the South African wine, but shh, don't tell anybody.
Hey, be proud of it. That's right. They are different. They're completely different wines, and they have different soil, and that's why, and different temperatures. And the one is with wind, the other one is hot, more hot temperatures, and the one is grown on mountains, the other one is grown in the flat. So it's really different wines, and even the winemakers make it different as well. And they have grapes they grow in Australia or in South Africa, like the Chenin Blanc, which is a grape you rarely find in Australia, but you'll find it in South Africa, though it's coming from France.
Mm.
But they do it in yeah, it's now the one most popular grape in white wine grape in South Africa.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, it is.
I think also South Africa has a unique grape to itself as well. Is it the Shiraz grape? I think that one is particular to South Africa. It's grown in South Africa. I don't know if they've imported it now, but
It's growing all over the world. It's one like the Cabernet Sauvignon, one of the most planted grapes. In France, they call it Syrah,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and it's especially in France. It's growing especially in the southern part, and Syrah is very good for hot climate. That's why
Okay.
they start growing it in Italy as well. Even in Germany, you find Syrah. But the spelling, Shiraz, is from South Africa and Australia.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. Um that's interesting, the different pronunciations, yes. So we would definitely say Shiraz in English.
Shiraz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, so I always I always find the French pronunciation very interesting then, because I'm not good at French.
Yeah, they say Syrah. and they spell it differently. They spell it with SYRAH.
Syrah.
Hmm.
Mhm. It may be interesting at the moment for our listeners to also understand the difference in like the naming of the wine, because I know that it's slightly different in German, and maybe you can help me because in English we talk about sweet, semi-sweet, dry, semi-dry, and I think it's slightly different in German. Is that right?
They change it, but we have dry, which refers to the rest of sugar which is in the wine,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
there's limited sugar. Dry is only up to 9 grams per liter, which is internationally like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the semi-dry is sweeter, and then you have the sweet wine, which is um, over than 20 over than 20 gram sugar
Okay, more than 20 grams sugar.
per liter. Rest in wine, because after the yeast has done his work and changed sugar into alcohol, it still remains some sugar in the wine.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's grape owned sugar, it's fruit sugar.
Yeah, yeah. So,
And on that depends if you say dry, semi-dry, or sweet.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, whereas we have the words herb in German, which goes to the acidity which is in the wine.
Okay, okay. So it's interesting because in English we also talk of semi-sweet. Yeah,
Yeah,
we have both of those, and I think in German you only talk of semi-dry.
no, semi-dry, yes, but we have the semi-sweet because
Half-dry.
um, we have sweet, which is semi-sweet is between 20 gram rest of sugar and let's say to 35, 38, and starting at 40, it's really sweet.
Okay, the
Yeah,
percentage, yeah,
yeah.
percent.
And
So
we have
yeah,
the word edelsüß,
great.
which
Yeah, my students
noble,
always.
noble sweet, which is a way to make the wine, and they are grapes drying in the vineyard on the plant and keeping more sugar so that the wine gets sweeter, but it's not allowed to fill up with sugar before they start the yeast changing into alcohol, the alcoholical
Ah,
gärung, or what's the word for it?
alcohol, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, if the
yeah,
alcohol
yes, that
starts.
was right.
Yeah, and you can bring sugar to the wine if it hasn't enough to get more alcohol, because the yeast changes the sugar into alcohol in the alcoholic change.
Mm, mm.
Alkoholische Gärung. What's the English word for that?
In the alcohol exchange or
Yeah.
in the fermentation?
Fermentation, yeah, that's the word what I was looking for. In the fermentation,
Okay, okay.
yeah, in the fermentation, sugar is changed by yeast to alcohol. And
Ah, okay,
but
okay.
while winemaking, when you can put sugar, external sugar, to the grapes to bring more alcohol out of it, which is,
Wow.
yeah, they call it, because Monsieur Chapital has found this way to increase the amount of alcohol. So they
Amazing.
they call this technique chaptalization.
Wow.
It sounds much better
Yeah.
than putting sugar to it. And
Yeah, that's right.
it is. And then
Adding sugar, yeah.
adding sugar. And this is not allowed in Germany and in some other countries, it's not allowed when you
Oh,
make
really?
the noble sweet wines. They have to get all their sugar for the fermentation out of the grapes. So it's not allowed to add
Okay.
sugar. And that's why they call it noble sweet. So this, if it's noble
Mm,
sweet, we have a high level wine, and very often only a low alcohol, which is funny because it's
okay.
so intense, but you have less than 10 volume percentage of alcohol.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Whereas regular wine has about between 11 and 15 volume percent of alcohol
mm,
in the
mm.
bottle. That's
I
the
think this noble wine might be a good wine
perfect
for
one for
me.
you. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Next time when we have tasting together, I bring you some noble sweet wines. The ice wine
Cool.
is a noble sweet wine too. It's the
Oh, okay.
highest
Wow.
level of noble sweet wine.
Mm. I don't know much about ice wine, so I'm looking forward to learning about that.
Yeah,
But I have a question.
yeah.
Where did you get your passion and curiosity for wine? When did that start?
Very early. I'm born in Weinheim.
Oh, okay.
This, and it's close to Heidelberg. It's a
Yeah.
very old, ancient winemaking area. And the Romans brought the wine to this part of Germany. And since then, they making wines there. And I'm born in a restaurant. My parents run a restaurant and then later on a hotel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I started with the first wine drinking with noble sweet wines when I was 10 years old.
Wow. Wow.
So to Christmas Eve, we got
On Christmas
on
Eve. On
Christmas Eve
Christmas Eve.
we got wine. Yeah, we drank
Ah,
wine.
so you're truly an expert.
Um, I learned a lot, and I, I studied the business. I studied gastro F&B in F&B in restaurants. I learned that, and I've been in Switzerland and a hotel school.
Mm-hmm.
Traveled in that business, worked, and then I started training others. And I was lucky to always find people who were teaching me a lot about wine. And I'm a member of the Sommelier Union, the Union of wine um, wine workers in the F&B business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I improved. It's a work in progress. It's never ending. Always new wines, always new trends. And so it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's kind of tapping into that creativity, and then creativity is kind of endless, really.
Yeah, it is.
Uh, Especially, I'm sure that there are there's there's even new technologies involved in creating wine that weren't there
Yeah.
50 years ago.
And
Yeah, so
it's kind of fashion changes as well. People's
mm,
in the 60s we drank most of the 60s of the last century, 1960, 1970, it was fashion to drink sweet wines. And then it turned and changed it in we only drink dry wines. And now we drink naturally made wines. This is a new trend.
Ah,
We have a really interesting tasting in February with a winemaker for these new trends. He explains what's the difference between a biodynamic wine and a natural wine, and the techniques are different. And we have about only like the cellars are much cleaner. You don't need so much sulfide anymore to keep it clean and healthy. So it's a lot of
wow.
things changing.
So we have a lot to look forward to then,
It is.
to hearing about that, because I don't know anything about that topic. So yeah.
Looking forward to. We do it as a regular event, regular podcast, talking about wine and learning, having a chance to talk about international wines as well, not only about German wines. I was working for Mövenpick a long time ago in Hamburg. We had the first wine bistro, only selling wines, no Coca-Cola, no beer, just wine and champagne. And
For Mövenpick,
Mövenpick, yeah.
the ice cream brand.
The ice cream brand has wine brand as well. And
Oh wow.
they're running restaurants. They started with restaurants. Really interesting restaurant concepts, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's a pity that changed because the restaurants were great.
Okay, okay.
Really sensational, very new inventions and very good ideas. For me, it was the first quality management in F&B business, in restaurant business, I think worldwide.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And how long ago did they have this concept, and when did they change it?
The concepts were I think I started in the 50s in Switzerland. And the founder was Uli Prager. And his franchise system was so that he really made plans and screenshots from how a dish has to look like, which was completely unknown in that times. So, and he branded everything, and then he created the ice cream, and he created chocolate and all these things only for his restaurants, and then they sold it. Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
And it was his really his the best time for the restaurants were in the 80s and 90s. There was increasing amount of restaurants and hotels, and then he died. Things changed.
Yeah. That's often what happens.
Yeah.
So
But we have in Leipzig, one of the restaurants, the markets, a restaurant in the zoo. They have this market restaurant.
oh yes.
This still belongs to the conceptions of Mövenpick.
Oh wow.
The marché, not market, it's marché.
Marché.
Renewed concept of Mövenpick.
Yeah, yeah. I'll have to go to the zoo and have a look.
Yeah, we go together. They have good
Yeah.
wine. They have
Excellent.
very good New Zealand wines there.
Oh, great, great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So we have a
So,
lot to do, a lot to talk about, a lot to try.
yes, yes. We can explore the world just through wine.
Yeah, yeah. Let's start next time with New Zealand wines. Why not? We start when we can go to the zoo again. In the zoo with New Zealand wines.
Great, great. Yeah, yeah. Starting from the furthest place away on our planet.
Working slowly back home.
Yes, excellent.
Excellent. Yeah,
Sounds
it's
great.
a pleasure talking with you about wine.
Yeah,
Really.
you too. You too. Very fascinating. I'm really looking forward to learning more about wine and appreciating it even more, deepening my appreciation for the process and the different grapes and tastes and stuff. So, yeah, amazing.
It is, and I'm really looking forward and improving my English while talking to you about wine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And all the listeners might have the same experience with us. They
That's right.
they share our experiences, and hopefully they share with us the wine when we have English speaking tastings on the
That's right.
in wherever in Leipzig and around.
That's right. Because that's what we will definitely be planning. We're planning to have some wine tastings together, definitely in Leipzig. Um, and we would love you to join us for that as we speak in English together and learn about wine together. But that'll be coming up in the spring and summer, COVID willing. So something to look forward to.
Yeah. So thank you for today,
Thank you.
and we're looking forward to seeing you again.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All righty.
Alrighty. Bye
Bye.
bye.